Alright, what's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we got another episode of the Look-In series, the series where at the end of each team's season, I go in, recap the team's season, look at the future of the team, the state of the team, all stuff like that. Today's video is on the LA Clippers. Got to talk a lot about this Clipper team. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership. If you want to learn more about the membership, there's a video on my channel explaining all of it. You can go back and watch that. Links to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So the LA Clippers this season, they finished the regular season 51-31, fourth in the Western Conference, and they go to the playoffs and they lose in 6. The Mavericks they just literally as soon as I turned on, as soon as I started recording, they lost the Game 6 to the Dallas Mavericks, another early playoff exit. So far, they have not made it out of the first round since getting to the conference finals back in 2021. The last couple years, 2022, they lost in the play-in. Last season, they lost in the first round. This year, another first round exit. And another early Clipper exit. First round. Looking at this, of course, the Clippers, they came in, they made the James Harden trade really early in the regular season back in November. He came in, they lost their first 6 games with him, but then after that, they went on a crazy stretch in between December, January, up until about the All-Star break. They were elite. I don't know what the exact record was off the top of my head, but they were 20-something and 3 or something like that. They were just elite, blowing out everybody, or kind of going through the league. They looked elite offensively. Paul George and Kawhi were playing at a high level. James Harden was playing really good. The bench was playing really good. Their defense was there. Offense was there. Everything was just clicking. Then once we got to after the All-Star break, they started to slow down a little bit. Russell Westbrook getting injured. Kawhi Leonard missed a couple games. The injuries started to pile up a little bit here and there. They did not have a great closing to the regular season in terms of their energy and their just focus. There's a lot of times where they just didn't really look locked in, especially on the defensive end at some points. And unfortunately, Kawhi Leonard did get hurt to end the regular season. He missed the last, I want to say, 9-ish or 8-ish games of the regular season. We get to the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard still doesn't play in game 1. He plays in game 2 and game 3. He comes back for those 2 games, but you can definitely tell that the Kawhi Leonard was not the same. They even came out and said his knee did not respond like they thought it would, and so he sat the last 3 games of their series, which is unfortunate. Another year where the Clippers deal with a playoff injury to one of their star players. Which was tough because Kawhi Leonard was having an amazing season. I mean, he played in 68 games. It's the most games he's played since 2017 with the San Antonio Spurs. So he was having a good year. He's giving you 23, 6 and 3 with over 1.5 steals on 52, 41, 88 efficiency. He was incredible until another knee injury, some knee inflammation. And then when he did come back in and play game 2 and game 3, in those 2 games, he averaged 12 points, 8 rebounds on 45% shooting, didn't make a 3-pointer. You could definitely tell he just didn't really look like Kawhi Leonard, and that they were better off without. And they were better off, without him. They went, 2-2. They went, what? Yeah, I want to say, 2-2 without Kawhi Leonard playing in this series. And they're 0-2 without him. So they're just more free-flowing offense style. But, unfortunately, they don't get the series win. And now looking at the Clippers, again, they had injuries at the wrong time. Kawhi Leonard again being injured. And it's just been the story of the LA Clippers. Even going back to the Lob City days with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. They never really had a healthy run at it. And then you look at the last couple of years. The only year that really didn't have a playoff injury was the first year they were together in 2020 in the bubble, where they blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. But since then, 2021, Kawhi Leonard got injured in the second round. They went to the conference finals still, but they lost. 2022, I want to say Kawhi Leonard missed the entire season, and Paul George got hurt near the end of the season. Last year, Paul George was injured for end of the season, didn't play in the playoffs, and then Kawhi Leonard only played in 2 games in the first round before he had to sit with a knee injury. And then this year, Kawhi Leonard again misses 4 of the 6 first-round games. The last 4 years, the Clippers have dealt with some injury to one of their 2 best players in a playoff series. And, obviously, when you're missing one of your 2 star players, sometimes your star player in Kawhi Leonard, you're just not going to be successful. Even if you do have Paul George and James Harden, you're just not going to be super successful if you're missing your whole. I mean, look at the Bucks. The Bucks lost this year because Giannis didn't play in the first round series. Like you're just not going to be successful, and it's just really hard because it's like, man, like it just happens every year, and it's just like, what can we really do about it? Not much, because Kawhi Leonard, I mean, he played in the most games he's played in years. Paul George played in a lot of games. Paul George played in what? Paul George played in 74 games this year. Like that's the most games he's played since 2016, the year he came back from his leg injury. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the most games he's played with since 2019 when he finished top three in MVP. He played 77 games that year. So yeah, I mean that's his most games by far he's played as an LA Clipper. James Harden played in 72 games. Like they were there. It's just unfortunate at the wrong time. Again, it happened that a Clipper got injured. And now it's kind of like, guess we gotta wait for next year again. Like at this point, because there's not really any like big moves they can make. It's not like they have to really to blame anybody except for the injury bug hit them once again, which is tough because this team has championship aspirations. Obviously, they built this team, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, not to just make playoff appearances. They put this team together, especially now you're adding James Harden. Playoffs, yeah, we could do that, but this team needs to win a championship. At least get back to a conference final. They haven't made it back to the conference finals in 3 years. So it's like this at this point, something's got to happen. Something has got to happen at some point for the Clippers. Will next year be the year? I don't know. The Western Conference right now is crazy. You still have the Denver Nuggets. OKC is the youngest team in the league. It looks like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. The Timberwolves are here. Dallas, the team that knocked them out. As long as Luka and Kyrie are over there, they're still going to be a tough team. They look at some other teams. I mean, the Suns potentially are still going to have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, maybe. The Pelicans are still going to be a solid team. The Kings look like they're going to, hopefully, they can bounce back. Who knows what happens with the Warriors? The Rockets are a competent team now. The Spurs will win Wembanyama. The Grizzlies are going to be back next year. Like this Western Conference next year has a chance to be like generational in a sense of like every team, or at least most, like there could be like 12, 13 teams that are legitimately like competitive in the Western Conference. So next year's West can be crazy. And when you're the Spurs, especially being, I mean, sorry, when you're the Clippers, especially being one of the older teams in the NBA, these guys don't have that much time left. And they've already been dealing with injuries. Their big three, Kawhi, Harden, and Paul George, are all on the north side of 30. So it's not like they're in their prime. Like this is one of these last couple years are going to be kind of their last runs in terms of being able to get to a championship. So the Clippers have to strike at some point. Will they ever be healthy enough to do it? I don't know. The one year they were healthy enough to do it, their first year, they blew a 3-1 lead. So I just don't really know. That's why it's just kind of hard right now to talk about the Clippers, because I don't really know what to change or what to do, because, again, they're dealing with another injury. It's just tough. Looking at this offseason, they're not going to have a first-round pick. They do have a second-round pick from the Indiana Pacers. That'll be in like the mid-40s. So I don't know. Will that even be anything? I don't really know. Looking at free agency, they have negative $102 million in projected cap space. They have the third lowest cap space available. And the big thing is Paul George's player option. And they've been trying to talk to an extension with Paul George. They did sign Kawhi Leonard to an extension. We kind of assume James Harden's going to come back because he's an unrestricted free agent. And it's kind of all of it now is on. The big question for the Clippers now is Paul George. What is he thinking right now? Or his player option? Is he going to decline and maybe try to sign a bigger extension this offseason with them? Or maybe, is he going to take the player option for the 1 year and see how things go next season? Like, it just depends on what Paul George thinks right now. If Paul George is like, you know what, I'm back home, I'm in LA, Kawhi already signed, we're going to have James back, and I think this is my best chance to win, I'm just going to vibe out here in LA, then, which is the most likely option, is I would bet my money on he's staying with the Clippers, then that's it. But if he's thinking, you know what, Kawhi's been hurt, James Harden, I just don't really know if this is the greatest situation, maybe I want to go back out east and see some other opportunities, maybe Philadelphia. Could be the spot. That'll be very interesting. I don't think it's gonna happen, but why not? So really, everything about the Clippers right now is just kind of hanging on what is Paul George thinking. But I assume he signs an extension and just rides it out there with LA, just like Kawhi is gonna do, and potentially James Harden's gonna do, because James Harden is a free agent this offseason. I don't know how much money he's gonna get, but I'm sure the Clippers are gonna get him back. And after that, Mason Plumlee's unrestricted free agent. Russell Westbrook has a player option that he probably is going to take and, come back. After that, they have a bunch of young players that are restricted free agents that weren't even playing anyway. But yeah, so you look at the Clippers, and it's just dang, another year of an early exit, another kind of failed year due to injuries. It's really, really tough. And at this point, the only thing I can really say about the Clippers and think about the Clippers is wait till next year, which is something that's been said the past, like, what, out of the last, 10 years, maybe it's been said 9 times. Like, it's just, that's what we're at this point with the Clippers. It's just wait till next year. Is Ty Lue going to be coach of this team? Maybe. Unless the Lakers prime away, which I like Ty Lue as a coach. I like him a lot as a Clippers head coach. My respect and credit for him has grown a whole lot since he's become a Clipper head coach. Is he going to leave? I don't know if that's the best decision, honestly, to make for your Clippers, but it's something I can kind of see happening, you know, because I don't know. I could just kind of see it happening. I kind of hope not. I hope he stays with the Clippers coach because I like him in this role. But again, I can kind of maybe potentially see it happening. But yeah, Clippers, another first round loss, a tough loss. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. I love the Dallas Mavericks. But I'm gonna talk about that more in my, recap video I'm gonna do tomorrow. Well, I guess in a couple hours as you're seeing this because it's 12:30 in the morning as I'm recording this video. But yeah, again, I just don't really know what much more to say about the Clippers. I mean, they had another playoff injury, another first round exit. They have to wait another year to get to that championship that they've never got to before. That's just what it is at this point. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Join the membership, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.